I like Overwatch. The developers give me plenty of reasons not to, but I still do. You know, I also like Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare 2. Anyone who has played both know that they are extremely similar games. To the point where they complement each other. From the team play aspect, to the game modes, or the weapons, and character abilities. Yes. We will talk about all of that today. If you play either of these games, you'll definitely want to tune into this. So grab a snack. Sit tight and let's get into it. Where do I begin? Let's start by both games' structure. Both are team-based hero shooting games. Overwatch is a 5v5 game, which is also reintroducing 6v6 because 5v5 wasn't a chief. The game is in first person but can be played in third through workshop customs. Garden Warfare 2 is 12v12 in third person. Overwatch is much more intense and your decisions will matter much more in comparison to GW2. Let's abbreviate Garden Warfare 2 to GW2. GW2 is a lot more casual and chaotic where your individual impact is not as important. I will give you a brief example. If you were to die in both games, in Overwatch your death has a profound effect on your team. They now have a disadvantage in a team fight. In GW2 it doesn't impact your team at the same extent. As because there are so many players on each team, character roles are not exaggerated the way they are in Overwatch and respawn times are a lot faster. As well as this, team play isn't as reinforced as it is in Overwatch but it's still very present. Both games have a deathmatch mode, capture point mode, payload objective and king of the hill modes. Wow. Both games have similar character role structure and mechanics as well. You have the characters who deal damage, characters who support, aid and enable teammates, and characters who can take more damage, have damage mitigation abilities and force enemies to fall back. This rolls very nicely into our next topic. As of current, Overwatch is 41 heroes. And one more coming very soon. GW2 has 16 different character classes, 122 individual characters in total. Their roles are not defined, so if I was to put the GW2 character classes into Overwatch character roles it'd look something like this. I could talk about Battle for Neighborville, as that game is literally these two if they had a baby. More like a baby that was dropped on its head because that game is terrible. Anyways, you have the offensive damage group who have good mobility and abilities to help them deal lots of damage to the enemy. Then you have the defensive characters who are better holding down a point and protecting it and themselves using their abilities. That does not mean they are bad defensively, just better suited to do more damage defending than attacking in my opinion. These characters are closest to DPS heroes. There is the supportive character group who heal, enable and protect their teammates with their abilities. In both games, supports are the most fragile and are often targets of the damage-oriented characters. And of course, we have the tanky characters who have a kit wired to helping them and their team take space and move on to an objective as well as forcing enemies to get back. Now for the moment you have probably been waiting for. There is way too many similarities between the two games. In terms of gameplay, weapons, abilities and mechanics, so enjoy this compilation of all the similarities I've put together.
Now! Take everything from them! Your dedication will cost you everything!
Home is where I say it is. Brother, no, man.
Overwatch and GW2 are separate entities, so of course, as well as similarities, there are going to be a lot of differences. I'll start with the two big elephants in the room: actual PvE and single player content. A lot of GW2 single player content is pretty bare bones, but something is better than nothing, eh? I say a lot because the Trials of Nomus is the best part of this game's single player. Anyone who has played it would agree. It's very enjoyable, very challenging and very rewarding. Though it's grindy and takes a while to complete, it's all worth it in the long run in my opinion. It's even worth a visit every now and then after you've completed it. The same cannot be said for Overwatch 2, which has no single player content, lol. I will mention that shitty hero gauntlet mode for the 3 people who play it. Now PvE. GW2 has garden and graveyard ops, infinity time and boss hunt modes. All of which are good modes in themselves but get old quickly. Doesn't mean they are bad. Overwatch does actually have PvE in the form of the invasion missions. There is also Junkenstein's Revenge if you want to count that. I have a bone to pick with Overwatch. Its developers promised a free, in-depth PvE and single-player campaign, but we get none of that and instead some watered-down missions that can be completed in less than 2 hours. To add insult to injury, you literally have to pay for PvE. That's just plain terrible. Now that's out of the way, let's talk about other differences. Overwatch is a much higher TTK than GW2, and expectedly so. GW2 lacks a ranked mode. This is probably better off as this game is very imbalanced. GW2 is no longer receiving live service. Overwatch is. Only one character in Overwatch's main game can revive teammates as opposed to all characters in GW2. All characters in GW2 have access to a DS as opposed to only 3 in Overwatch. At the end of each round, GW2 awards the players with master titles if they have done the most in said respective category. Vanquish Master for who got the most kills. Streak Master for who had the highest kill streak. Assist Master for who had the most assists. Heal Master for who had the most healing. Revive Master for whoever had the most revives, and First Strike Master for whoever got the first kill of the round. Imagine if Overwatch did something like this. That'd be phenomenal. But no, I guess we are getting yet another Kiriko skin. There is of course play of the game, but that gets very boring very quickly. Overwatch 1 did something like that with the end of match cards. They should be brought back. Things like this reward the player for playing well. I hope I am not the only one who thinks that. Overwatch has a battle pass. GW2 doesn't, and I'm sure that every Overwatch player will tell you how they want loot boxes back, which operated on a similar basis to the card packs in GW2. There was a battle pass in Battle for Neighborville, but we aren't going there. Monetization is slowly consuming all of our favorite IPs. How depressing. Recall can affect all characters in GW2 instead of a select few in Overwatch. GW2 has a hub world. Overwatch lacks this and resorts to a menu. And I think those are all of the glaring and obvious gameplay differences. If I was to go over every single minuscule difference, we'd be here all day. Hello all. It's time to wrap this video up. To conclude, I will say that if you enjoy one of these games, then I really recommend giving the other a try. Even if I did put Overwatch down here. Like I said at the very beginning, the developers give me plenty of reasons to not like it, but it's still a fun game. There is so much in common that you'd feel right at home if you were to give the other a go. If you've made it this far into the video, then you have my utmost respect. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you would like to see content on these games individually. Have a great rest of your day.